Aquaman. A really, really fun fucking film. So I want to get this out of the way right now. So I actually saw this film in IMAX, believe it or not, back in December, the Thursday night before it comes out in theaters. On Friday, I went to my Regal IMAX and watched it, and I loved it then, right? But time has passed by. I bought it on 4K, and like I said in my review, that I never, my 4K Blu-ray review, that I never really got to watch like its true potential. And I haven't watched this film in, I would say, a year by now. And I finally sat down and watched it, and I realized this film is pure escapism. It is incredible. So let's kick it off with the first thing. The actors do an incredible job, but Jason Momoa is just a likable dude, just cool, funny, and just, I don't know, he just fits the role of Aquaman. And when Zach casted him back in 2015 as Aquaman in Batman vs. Superman Justice League, I think we all knew it was like, balls casting, what are you doing? And it's incredible. He is fucking so charming, so fun, just so, you can believe this character with him playing as Aquaman and Arthur Curry. So another thing I do want to talk about is, it is a dumb movie. All right, I will get that out of the way. Is this going to stand up to a movie like Joker or fucking Taxi Driver or Parasite? No, it is a dumb fucking movie. It is really dumb, but it's fun, it's immersive, and it's got a lot of emotion to it, and I'm not gonna lie. Now, one of the big things about this film is the world building of Atlantis, and I am glad, I can't wait for Aquaman 2, because I want to explore Atlantis even more. But giving a good view of Atlantis looks fucking beautiful. The colors, the fucking, oh, it just, like, it looked amazing on my TV, but it really immerses you into this world of the underwater in the deep, and it's so fucking good. James Wan did an incredible job immersing you into the experience of going to Atlantis and going on for this ride. Now, one of the things I want to get out of the way before I keep talking is, one of the cool things that James Wan did was just let them talk underwater, normal, like I'm having a conversation. There could be water around me right now, but that was a good idea. Now, I get why Zack Snyder chose to do the air bubbles. I understand why he did that. However, this film doesn't say oh, those air bubbles are stupid and get rid of them. It gets rid of them, but there's still, like, Mara still shows that she can use the air bubbles in scenes to, for an example, when Arthur has to go get his father after the accident happened with all the big waves coming in on land, she makes like a kind of tiny air bubble. So we see that, like, yeah, these air bubbles can still exist, and that's what I like a lot. And I'm glad that they didn't just retcon it at all. So I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad that they still exist, but they just show that these Atlanteans can just talk underwater. Now, another thing I want to talk about is James Wan and his action/fight scenes. This guy knows how to do action. This guy knows how to do fight scenes. I love when he does a 360 pan around shot when someone's having a fight scene. It always inspired me. I want to do that for, like, if I do a short film fight scene. I thought it was so fucking cool. But all these action scenes in the film, the Ring of Fire scene is one of my favorite, or sequences is one of my favorite in the actual film. And I just love it. I love when he goes on when Arthur goes into the sub fighting Manta. I thought that was badass too. I like the action in that. The action is well done. That's why I mean it is a fun fucking film. It really does. It keeps the momentum going, and that's what I love about this film a ton. And I mean it when I say this, guys. It is legit, like, fun fucking cool action. It's done really, really. The score is made by Rupert Williams, I believe. I don't know if that's right. However, he also did the score for the first Wonder Woman film, which I enjoyed that score. Now, this Rupert is no Hans Zimmer or Junkie XL. That's personally my favorite composers. But he does a really good job of this score for Aquaman. I think it's so completely badass, and I love it. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like the deep. It feels like, it reminds me, there's some sounds in it that remind me of water and that, and just like, it's a really good fucking score. I actually put a couple of the songs, What Does That Even Mean? And I think it's Suited and Booted in my playlist for the gym, and I just love to listen to it sometimes, because it's just like, when you're in the gym, it makes you feel like, oh, I'm one true king, or some stuff like that. So I thought the score was done really, really well, and it served its purpose in this film. Now, one of my favorite things in the film like I said, my sequence is the Ring of Fire scene with you have Orm and Arthur fighting at it to become who is the one true king. We all know that Arthur loses that fight and Mera has to save him. But one of the cool, funny fucking things is you got an octopus playing the fucking drums. It's such a fucking crazy sequence, but it's so fun. It really is. It's that type of gladiator fight. And there's a lot of yelling in it. I don't understand why, but you know what, guys? Patrick Wilson did an incredible job as King Orm or Ocean Master, and it's so fucking fun. It is one of my favorite action scenes in the film. And I wouldn't say in the overall DCU, but it is a really good film, like sequence, and it was filmed so fucking good. Now you guys know that this film is heavily on CGI, so I understood going into it, like there's gonna be some brief scenes that won't look that great. And actually, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. We're going to get into my nitpicks of the film right now. So what do I mean by some of the CGI didn't look good? It's actually not on the sets or anything like that, or when they're in Atlantis. It's actually, for me, it's Nicole Kidman and it's Willem Dafoe. Their de-aging doesn't look that good. And when CGI picks up heavy, it really does not look well, especially on Willem Dafoe. De-aging him, it just didn't work for me, and you could really tell it was a lot heavy on CGI. Nicole Kidman, it wasn't that bad, but it's still like in the beginning, it really was like, it was like, okay, I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you a movie for this, but overall, it was pretty heavy on the CGI, and it didn't look that great. Now, another problem I had with the film is the Sahara sequence, or the Sahara Desert, when they're going on the Indiana Jones adventure, I call it. And I really do like that. I like them going to try to find the trident. I thought that was all cool and interesting. However, for me, I think the Sahara part was a little too long. And I think that could have been trimmed a little bit. Now, this film's runtime is 2 hours and 23 minutes. It could have been chopped at least at 5 or 7 minutes. And I would have took a lot from the Sahara sequences. I felt like it was dragged out too long, and it could have been a lot shorter than it already is. Now, another thing for me that I have to nitpick for all reasons, and I think you guys had this coming, is I didn't really care for... I told you guys, I love the score, but for me, I didn't really care for the pop songs chose. You had Pitbull, you had Another Girl, Skylar Grey, I think it was, in the end, and that I'm not a big fan of Pitbull, or not. I'm just like pop songs in my superhero movies. So for me, that personally really didn't really resonate or anything with me. It was cool, I guess, but I'm more traditional to the motion picture score. It's a beeping noise. Great. Anyways, one last final nitpick. I love Black Manta in this film. However, I do think he should have been completely saved for the next film. I think you could have had a lot just going on with tension and emotional aspects of the story with just King Orm and Arthur. But throwing Black Manta, I understood why the story did it. However, I feel like we're going to see Black Manta return in the second one. So I think they could have just saved his whole vengeance story and everything for the second film. I thought that would have been better, and it would have had more of a flow to a straightforward conflict between Arthur and Atlantis. And then after that, it would be him being a half-breed going up against someone who's human. And I think that would have been a lot cooler than putting him in this film now, because I feel like putting him in this film made the film a little more jam-packed. But like I said, it was still fun action, and I thought Black Manta looked fucking pretty dope in the film. I'm not going to say he didn't. One of the other things I did want to say is they actually went for it. Like I said, this is a movie that just goes for it and does things, and one of the things it does is it gives us the comic accurate costume or suit for Arthur, and it looks really fucking good. Now, like I said, I like my films dark in that Batman v Superman, Watchmen, Man of Steel, that style, but I never said that I'm a big fan of the MCU, so I like lighthearted films too, and Aquaman is a good way to go with it. Same thing with Wonder Woman for sometimes. And I would argue Superman too, depending on the story that you want to tell. That's really what it is. And giving him the comic accurate suit, just like you're going for it. You're doing it. Nothing's stopping you, and it worked. And that's what I love. It's not like a film that's just like, oh, we're going to do this because, you know what, fan service. It does it because it works, and that's what I really like. I like that whole ending scene of the whole fucking underwater battle sequence with Arthur, or Aquaman, the king of Atlantis, King Arthur, I guess he's known as now, the one true king, going up. He has a trench. I thought the trench were really cool. They looked pretty fucking badass. I know they were supposed to do a TV series on it, but I don't know if that's happening anymore, or a movie. All of them, everything looks badass with all of Arthur's, like, because everybody follows the king now, and it worked. And that's why I say this film overall is a fun, immersive experience. Is it a dumb movie at times? Yes, it is. It really fucking is. Now, but it has a lot of emotion, and it really it's fun, it's action, it's pure escapism. It's got everything. It's a popcorn type movie that has pure action, pure escapism, heavy CGI, world building, immersiveness, but at the core of it, it's a good film. It really is a good, fun film. All right, guys, those are my thoughts on Aquaman. Did you guys like Aquaman? Let me know your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.